Hey folks, welcome to B5 Bricks. Hope you're all well. In today's video, we're going back in time to 1989 and a nostalgic flick through this short catalogue, and this to me is probably a big turning point for LEGO and myself, as it's when pirates began. And here we have the three stalwarts of Legoland: the space, the knights or castle, the town themes, all represented by these minifigures, and they're all gazing into the moonlit sea to discover a huge new theme, which is represented by the pirate ship. And wow, it was such a brilliant range, and it was also a massive hit for LEGO. They were so proud of the new range, it was even the first thing in the catalogue. The Dark Shark, which was the very large red and white sailed pirate ship, and it was really expensive. I only recall one of my friends at school who had this, and it was their pride and joy. I, on the other hand, was over the moon that year when I not only got the pirate's nest at the top right there, I had the wee raft and the shark, and more excitedly, I had the governor's ship, the Seahawk and Fort Sabre, and these were also quite expensive. I was unbelievably lucky that year, oh my goodness. The Seahawk, I remember, it was about £60 in 1989, so in today's money, it's like absolutely ridiculous. It would have been like £200, which is crazy to think about. But LEGO was an extremely expensive toy back then. I love these little dioramas they made up for the catalogue with the battle scenes. They were just absolutely fantastic. So much going on to look at. I love looking at that sort of thing as a kid. And oh, and the cannons, what an excellent little toy just on itself. Such a cool thing and well designed and made. It was a great addition that year. Now onto Castle, or well, Knights as I always called it, and this was a well established part of the LEGO range by 89, and things had progressed and gotten quite advanced over the years since the very early sets. I never had the big black castle. I had quite a few of the small sets and an older grey one from a few years before, and the battering ram and the wall as well. And to this day, I think this is possibly one of the greatest themes that definitely deserves to come back. And it was only a few years ago that they actually phased it out. So, you know, what would be amazing from LEGO is maybe even if they re-released some of these classic sets with a slight update with modern bricks maybe, but they were just so good. They really deserve a new lease of life, especially for younger fans to enjoy, and get Robin Hood back out there as well. Now also new for 89 was Space Police, and oh my goodness was I pumped for this back then. I absolutely loved the space theme. And all of the space stuff was a huge seller back then, and some of the most ingenious vehicles came out of it. They were brilliant. I had the huge Galactic Enforcer, which was a much more refined, larger ship than what we'd had over the years before. The colour scheme, the graphics on the Space Police thing, it just looked so cool and different as well compared to the white ships we'd had in the past. And of course the white vehicles were still a core part of the range at that time. In fact, for a few years after, you still saw those sets in stores. And of course the famous monorail, which had been around for years and it was still going strong. And there were loads of those smaller, cheaper sets. I had quite a few of those, and they were really simple sets, and I soon amassed quite a few of the classic yellow and the blue space people, which are so well known today because of Benny in the Lego movie. Spaceship! Spaceship! You could buy separately the kind of moon-shaped base plates, and there was the space minifigures, and they were brilliant little small sets to get. Oh, and Blacktron, they were the sort of bad guys back in 1989, and they hadn't received their makeover, which came in 1991, I think, so this is still the older style here. I didn't really like these ones. I was quite glad when it changed, and I had loads of the updated versions and colour scheme. Now into the town, and this range had expanded quite a bit by 89, and the racing stuff, just like today, was incredibly popular. There were the quite pricey Grand Prix scene, which was 2 base plates big. I had the actual smaller set, which I got for Christmas that year, and I absolutely loved it. I played with it all the time. The pit stop was great. You could lift the cars up and change the wheels. It was brilliant. Similarly, you gotta love those dioramas that LEGO made. It was so cool to see all this activity going on in the background, showing off all the sets. And you had all the accessories. I had the road signs. I still have them to this day. They were great. Oh, and now one of probably the most favourite sections of the catalogue for a whole lot of kids. It's the fire and the police stuff. And And just check this out. See how simple they were. They were absolutely brilliant sets. Hardly any bricks at all, really. I had both the fire station and the police station, and it was one of my absolute favourites. I also had the fire engine with the lights and sounds. Oh, it was so good. And the helicopter ambulance as well. It was a brilliant set, and it's really iconic now. A really memorable set. But look how simple it is. Yeah, it was new in 89. I think I got that for my birthday in 1990, and I remember those long tiles for the propeller blades. I always thought, oh, I wish I could have more of those smooth tiles there. And nowadays they're on everything, but you hardly got any of them back then. The little houses and stables, brilliant. And just like nowadays, a really comprehensive range of city vehicles. The hospital was really nice. A friend of mine had that. I loved playing with it. Oh, and the garage. It was a really expensive set, I remember. It was like £80 or £90 if I recall. And that's the really old school train set there. The boats, the harbour set, that was really good. Especially the sort of road and harbour wall base plate it came with. It's really cool. And there was only a few Technic sets in this book. But there were obviously a lot more than this. So that was a nice wee look back at 89, a great year for LEGO and one of my favourites, especially for the new Pirates range, which became one of LEGO's most successful ranges in the 90s, and that huge Space Police ship was one of my absolute personal favourites, and I absolutely loved it. Check me out here in my living room after Christmas. Got my snazzy tracksuit on and my Back to the Future t-shirt. I was such a cool guy. I was so happy. I was over the moon, and I felt incredibly lucky to get this set. I was really happy. I must have really impressed Santa with my good behaviour that year to get something like that. Oh my goodness. So hey, thanks for sharing a snapshot of 89 with me. Check out my other videos on this on the playlist, and hey, why not subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit the notifications bell at the top so you don't miss a thing, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks guys, bye.